Well, welcome back. It is time for the Word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money. Joining me right now is the Fitz-Gerald Group Principal, Keith Fitz-Gerald, and Greenwood Capital President and Chief Investment Officer, Walter Todd. Gentlemen, great to see you both. Thanks so much for being here. Walter, kicking things off with you. With a market this morning that is down in the triple digits, busy morning of earnings, and once again, we see a consumer who is stretched. Home Depot reported a miss on revenue, guidance, and same-store sales. The company did beat on same-store sales, rising 8.3%, but obviously investors are reacting to this miss here on revenue and this flat showing for the rest of the year. The stock is down almost 4%. Walmart also giving us bad news with its guidance. The stock down better than 3%. How would you characterize these numbers?
Yeah, I would say I think you've kind of framed it well. It's a consumer that is challenged and spending money on different things. I mean, if we look at the services versus, discretionary items like home improvement and certainly, discretionary items that Walmart sells, I think you're seeing more spending on the necessities like groceries, but also spending elsewhere in the economy. We've heard from a lot of travel companies that have done very well. So I think you're seeing consumers choose one versus the other. The other thing I would say, too, just as it relates to Walmart's guidance, I think there's probably a fair amount of conservatism built into that. And why wouldn't you be conservative given the complex macro backdrop that they're operating in? So I'll be interested to hear on the call. I'm sure they'll get questioned about that and kind of what they're seeing in real time with this first quarter guidance and certainly the annual guidance for 2023.
Well, Keith, Mark Zuckerberg announced a verification subscription service called Meta Verified. Users will now have to pay up to get verified. They can submit a government-issued ID to receive a blue badge on their profile for $15 a month, Keith. They're looking for more revenue anywhere they can get it. I believe this was Twitter's idea, but Meta is now doing it. Your thoughts?
Well, two things. Number one, his entire business plan seems to be, what did Elon do? And then I'm going to do it too. Number two, I think this is going to maybe do 1-2% of revenue. So it's not going to be a needle mover in that regard. But it is interesting to me because at a time where consumers are under pressure, where they've already given over their most intimate details of their lives, I think the risk of backfire here is huge. But nonetheless, it's probably good for a quick pop in Facebook if you want to play it.
And your thoughts on what we're talking about this morning in terms of retail?
I think that's incredibly challenging because the retail consumer is being forced. My colleague nailed it. Being forced to do an either-or decision. Prior to COVID, prior to the threat of a recession, it would have been an and decision. I can buy this and that. Now it's I can buy this or that. Walmart is key. Home Depot is a victim of what's happening.
All right, we will leave it there. Keith, great to see you. Walter, thanks very much for joining the conversation. Great to see you both, gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi, it's Keith here. Thanks for checking out today's highlight clip. What'd you think? Did I make sense? Is there something you'd like to add? Make sure you leave a comment down below. And of course, click subscribe to keep up right here on YouTube or sign up for the email newsletter at the link below. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram for my real-time thoughts on markets, analysis, and a whole lot more.